So CM Punk hits the GTS. A lot of people thought it was Tony D. I even posted that thing that he posted from Paris. Very clever, Tony D. Very clever. Hat tip to you. But I love when Punk does the GTS, they bounce off the ropes, and then he catches it again. And the little look on his face where he's like, all right, here we go. About to finish this. And then a ninja jumps into the ring, hits him in the nutsack, just right in the penis, man. Just absolutely gasted his flabbers with that punch to the penis area. And CM Punk down there squealing like a little baby. Becky Lynch reveals that it's her. Seth Rollins had said earlier in the night he was 2 steps ahead. It's interesting that his 2 steps ahead are more ahead than The Rock's like 20 steps ahead, right? Interesting. We get the win for Seth Rollins. He and Becky embrace, they kiss. Do you all think that Becky is like a part of the Vision now? Like, is she in the group? Or is it just, well, obviously they're married. Because, listen, she ain't got to be a part of the group. But what would it hurt? What would it hurt having her as a part of the group? Okay, she posted about it. Hell yeah. Let's go. I'm going to go look that up. She should be in the Vision. Okay, she did. She said, we run this business. Hashtag the Vision. Let's go. Michael Higgins says another interesting note when Seth was yelling at Punk in the ring. He said, I hate you and your stupid family. So, you boys at FightfulSelect.com have a report up that I've been working on nailing down for a couple of weeks. But this gave me enough to just kind of go with it. Naturally, and I mean, I had people from AEW hitting me up saying, like, surely there's got to be like an AJ element here, right? And I was like, well, what I can say here on the air is there have been pitches. And you might say, well, Sean, there are pitches about everything. And that's true. There are some wild pitches out there. But what I've heard and reported on FightfulSelect.com was that they haven't been quite shot down with the same quickness as prior. Now, AJ Lee in the past has been courted pretty heavily for a return. She's not wrestled in over 10 years. A higher up that I spoke to said, we got no concerns that she'll be in shape. She always looks like she came off TV. And they also brought up a good point, this higher up that I talked to for FightfulSelect.com. They said, well, she also lives with a gentleman who took like 7 years off and came back and wrestled at a high level. Okay. All right, then. Now, pitches for AJ Lee to come back have been nothing new. I was told by people in Wow Women of Wrestling that when they courted her to come in, they'd said, hey, maybe you can wrestle. And she was like, I don't want to do that. I'll do other stuff. But I heard she was very respectful and very helpful to everybody there. There were a lot of people in AEW that would tell me that they would, like, you know, the half joking, half serious, like, hey, Punk, we should get AJ Lee out of retirement. Hey, how about it? And there was a point where I thought that Britt Baker could promo AJ Lee out of retirement. Because if y'all remember, at one point, Britt Baker was one of the best promos of women in wrestling. Didn't happen. At no point was it close to happening, from what I understood. And naturally, in WWE, not only are there a lot of women that want her there are a couple people still around and that pop in and out that have worked with her, that do know her. I don't know if they've kept in touch with her. I don't know necessarily how that is, but there are certainly a lot of people there that want to work with her. Now, we have more on FightfulSelect.com. I will encourage you guys, please subscribe over there. I cannot tell you guys how important it is to support original coverage. Every single day, I have exclusive news. And I mean every single day. Every single day, I have a Q&A article every day. Every day we have Discord access. Every week I have a Q&A podcast. Every other week, Grapsody has a Q&A podcast. Every PLE, Alex and Kate do an additional review. We have indie coverage there as well. I cannot tell you how important it is to support original coverage, because one day the aggregators won't have anything to aggregate anymore if you don't support original coverage. So please do that. Fightfulselect.com. But let's read some of these super chats and humper chats. Galron says, if Becky feels threatened by the next babyface challenger, have her be flanked by the Brawns during promos. I like that. Like her as a part of the vision, I think is good. A natural progression. I am all for that. I'm all for that. Ibumania 14 says, I wouldn't be surprised if Paige follows, given how close she was with AJ. Certainly online buzz around Persephone in WWE. She likes that type of stuff. I could see them going after her. I have no idea what internet buzz you are claiming regarding Persephone in WWE. AEW and CMLL are going to make sure that people are under deals. And Luis mentions Persephone is currently booked for the CMLL 92nd anniversary show on September 19th for the women's tag titles, and issued a challenge to Mercedes this past Wednesday. Supermo says, well, Punk and AJ versus Becky and Seth is a one way to counter WrestlePalooza. Listen, yeah. Or that'd be countering All Out. I mean, that would be a monster match to put on. I'm not saying it's going to happen then. Not saying that. But if they wanted to counter program AEW All Out, oh boy, AJ Lee's return to wrestling could not be underscored. Like, I know that there's a younger generation of wrestling fans. Like, if you're in your early 20s right now, I don't think that you understand how important of a character that AJ Lee was. And it was in an era where women did not get a lot of opportunities in the ring. But at one point, AJ Lee was the main character of Monday Night Raw. AJ Lee, at one point, was one of the best promos in pro wrestling. Like, she was next level. 2012, 2013, AJ Lee helped spearhead the demand for the women's revolution. Like, she didn't get to enjoy the fruits of a lot of her labor. And that is unfortunate, because the way that AJ Lee conducted herself and the way that she was able to get things over, not just for her, for a lot of other people, the way that she blew up so many programs and made them more important, like, she didn't really get to enjoy the longer matches and all that stuff. And that's unfortunate. And listen, I don't know what she's like in the ring right now. People I talked to on Heels said that she seemed like kind of nervous when she came onto that show. And then they said it was like she didn't miss anything at all. And they were like, man, not taking anything away from current wrestlers, but she was in better shape than most of them too. John Wick says, if we get Becky versus AJ Lee for the IC title, I mean, I think I don't know about it. I have no idea about a singles match. I don't know what the plans are. It certainly seems like Becky and Seth versus AJ and Punk is a possibility. But as of the last few weeks, I've only heard of pitches. It's funny. I sent an AJ Lee GIF to one of my sources, one of my friends in WWE, and they sent back a Mr. Iguana GIF. Could Braun Breaker get annoyed by Becky and that causes him to leave division? Yes, it absolutely could. Absolutely could. Braun Breaker is so very clearly like a top guy. And I think this is honestly a big vehicle to establish Bronson Reed as the top guy too. I miss the era of WWE when it was like a six-pronged attack, and it's Triple H, Kurt Angle, Steve Austin, The Rock, The Undertaker, Mick Foley here and there. Like, that's what you need in WWE, especially if you've got two brands. You need to make sure you've got as many top talent as possible. And there were a bunch of people that when they were like, oh, well, I think LA Knight's going to fall out of the main title picture. I'm like, I don't, because I think you need as many top guys as possible. And right now he's over to that level. I think this has to be a vehicle to establish two additional top talent, because Seth Rollins is going to be a top talent no matter what forever. Forever. G'nay Death says, if not AJ, then Roxy. Roxy versus Becky would be good. No disrespect to Roxanne or Bayley or anybody else in pro wrestling. And I mean anybody else in pro wrestling. If they were to do a mixed tag, Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch against CM Punk and anybody but AJ Lee would be a significant disappointment. Matt says, don't they already have at least six top guys? They have two brands as well. So it's a difference between having, well, it's Raw and SmackDown in 2000 with those top guys. But now you have a very soft brand split. And again, I'll elaborate on my feelings about the brand split. I'm not as adamant that it should be enforced as I used to be, because we're not, how could we believe, oh, well, WWE Raw would work with AAA and NXT, but not SmackDown? So I'm okay with it now, but you want as many top people as possible. That way you can work them in and out of each other. Michael Higgins says SmackDown is in Chicago this coming Friday. I think we could see a surprise Punk appearance followed by an AJ Lee return. The ending of Clash in Paris screams tag match at WrestlePalooza. To me, that would be a perfect place to do it. That would be a perfect place to do it.